What's up, Starcraft fans? Once again, we're doing Nexus Coop. To get there, go to Custom, Arcade, then double-click Nexus Coop. So Nexus Coop is a fan-made arcade game in Starcraft 2 co-op where you play as a different set of commanders. And you can play alone or with a friend. This time I'm playing alone, and you can see there's no one else in the lobby. You play as the regular co-op maps, but you use different commanders. There are some commanders in Nexus Coop that also appear in real co-op, but they function very differently. For example, the subject of today's episode, Stetboy. So once again, we have the intro screen here. You can read all about the guys who made Nexus Coop and of course Nexus Coop itself. But let's get into it. So after this thing finishes loading up, we will be brought to the Nexus Coop screen. Ah, here it is. Okay, so yeah, Genius Scientist is that boy. So I'll play two games as per usual. For the first game, I will actually play on Temple of the Past. So my masteries will be treatment frequency. So this will be just increase the healing rate of Stetboy. Nano Parasite, when an enemy dies, it can become bailing, but I'd rather not have that. This first game, I'll go for mercenary munitions because I'm going for more Raiders drops. And second, I'll go for Degeneration Chance because I want to have more of my Zerg have advanced evolutions, and you'll see what that is later on. First map will be Temple of the Past, the map where we have to defend the center against enemies coming toward it. So we have 26 minutes to defend it. So you can see that Stetboy starts with a command center, Capochirnos command center, but he has a Mecha Overlord which looks a little bit different from regular Overlord. This guy has a missile barrage somehow, and you will see that later on. It does hit rocks and other buildings, but not units. So it does 1000 damage. So these rocks will be taken out on the second barrage. What I like to do as Stetboy is expand quickly. So I will actually go up to 16 supply, and then once the missile barrage comes off cooldown, I will just launch it again at these rocks and just take my expansion. So here comes the SCV. It is called an SCV. So down go those rocks, and that will allow me to build my command center. So you can see that the way Stetboy builds is like Protoss. He just basically throws in a warp rift and it'll auto build. Now I'm gonna go for some gas. You can see it also builds like Protoss. It just drops the rift right there. I know all you Terran players out there in 1v1 would love to have something like this, where your worker doesn't have to get interrupted, or there's no chance for your worker to get interrupted, and it'll just build on its own. Look at that, no SCVs. Okay, next, my first top bar, I'll be able to drop Stetboy, and next in my build, I will drop a hatchery. The hatchery will allow me to build army units. So the command center only builds workers and these upgrades for overlords, but the hatchery will allow me to build units. So the Mech Overlord here is out. So it's actually a special variant of the Mech Overlord. Not all overlords are like this guy, and you can see why it'll be kind of OP if you can just launch barrages of missiles at the enemy. Stetboy though, he's a healer, but he does have a part of a photon cannon. I believe it's a part of a photon cannon, and it's shooting at the rocks, which will allow me to expand. So worker production is ongoing. Once my hatchery completes, I will start my spawning pool. The spawning pool will allow me to get upgrades from this here artifact experiment bench and just get better units. So my first topper will actually be available. I will call it down over here. What that is Raiders, which means, yeah, a bunker, an SCV, 2 Goliaths, and a siege tank. So it's actually funny. It's actually funny in Nexus Coop how Stetboy has more Rainer units than Rainer himself. If you remember, Rainer units are basically mercenaries and special units, but whereas Stetboy has regular Rainer units, which is kind of funny. So you can see this first upgrade is, it's basically to do with getting more mandate for, yeah, but getting more. You can see there's a fourth resource here. The fourth resource. Oh, got some units over here. But Rainer's units will take care of that easily. The bunker has 4 war pigs inside, which will deal very well against Zerglings. But where were we? So you can see I'm now getting a Hydraulic Den, and this guy, this upgrade I'm getting right here will just speed up the healing rate of Stetboy's buildings, make them last longer. Now here, yeah, here the first upgrade is almost done. I will start getting me some essence for my units. So what that does for me is that once I get, you can see it's starting to count up once that upgrade is completed. So what this essence does is whenever I get units, I will be able to upgrade those units by spending this essence here. So it's kind of like a resource. It's kind of like minerals gas. I spend it. Next call down of Rainer's Raiders. You can see I just call them down. And this is what I was alluding to earlier. Stetboy will have more Rainer units than Rainer himself, which is kind of funny. Next wave will be on the way. Okay, you can see it's an air hybrid. Okay. Mecha Ultra's Den, Ultra's Cavern is now an Ultra's Den, but that is on the way, and that will unlock the next level upgrade. So this second level upgrade, the W upgrade, is locked behind the Hydra's Den, and the third is locked behind the Ultra's Den. And so are these guys. These guys will not be available until the Ultralisk Den has completed. So I'm getting more upgrades. Just the upgrades just basically make me. The upgrades from this here bench will just make my essence gathering faster. Meanwhile, the wrecked engineering bay will give Stetboy healing upgrades. So we'll make him heal faster. You can see. Oh, hold on. Oh, I gotta mute. It might be copyrighted. It's Mario music. The Nexus Coop guys really like adding these. But just imagine Mario music playing in the background. You heard it a little bit, but yeah, it deploys these, well, these suicidal robots that are basically banelings. It's robotic banelings, and you can just right-click them onto enemies. It damages ground forces and not air forces. But this guy, the nukes, the Terrazine harvesters, do detonate nukes, and they of course hit air. So once this guy times out, it will explode in a funny way. Well, not funny way, it's in spectacular fashion. You can see Rainer's Raiders here blasting this Thrasher down, and this area has been cleared. So I once again deployed a set of Rainer's Raiders here. So I have so many Rainer's Raiders. Now I can see my units. I have spent a little bit of essence to upgrade them. So when you see them going to the egg, that actually means that their upgrade has failed. So you can see that now that they have the red glow about them, that's when you know the evolution succeeded. I have fewer essence. I have less essence now. Well, that's a lot of. That's so many banelings. My goodness. That is so many banelings. But regardless, you will still push through. I also made these lurkers. These lurkers will deal tremendous damage. You can see, yeah, they shoot lasers. The Hydralisks shoot lasers. And this Nyarlathotep, yeah.
Upgrade complete.
Yeah, this thing. I can't read it. This thing is a lurker, but when it burrows, it becomes a siege tank. Because reasons. But you can see units will just clean out this area, and they'll circle back to the other side to clean out the enemies here. You can see, as I mentioned earlier, the hatcheries are production structures, and I am producing them. So you can see I have them in the control group, and I am producing units out of them.
Your forces are under attack.
I'll burrow this guy here. Oh, look at this! Look at this Hydros! It deals splash damage. The Hydralisk deals splash damage. That is bonkers. This yellow shot, though, deals single target damage to these air hybrid, which is great. That's exactly what I need. Meanwhile, this Overlord, remember the old Overlord from earlier? Well, it still shoots missile barrages, so at music it just kind of lob stuff at this bonus. These Zerglings cleaning out these creep tumors. Meanwhile, the rest of my army is gonna. You can see these circle things. That's I believe a result of upgrading Stetboy's heal. They get some sort of swirly thing, which I'm still not sure what it does, but it looks cool. So they can become siege tanks, and they just clean Amon's waves like they're nothing. Next cooldown of Rainer's dudes. You can see they're not that great. I even got the mastery for them, but they're still not that fantastic. Although that was my mistake. I probably should have deployed a little bit further behind to give my actual army a better chance to sneak on forward and support. You can see this guy now has available missiles. Hydralisks dealing a lot of damage to these dudes in the air. Meanwhile, I have these lurkers sitting over here, which means, or rather, I have these lurkers sitting over here because there will be an attack wave or a thrasher later on at 1337. So I'm just putting these in place. Cleaning out these last few creep tumors. These last few buildings. And then that'll free me up to go back here and fight this wave. Rallying more dudes. You can see I'm just making more lurkers. Sit it down over here. Raptor has combat shield somehow. I kind of baited these Mulisks into the Thrasher's blue fart. And you can see that blue fart does deal damage to Amon's own forces. Amon has not completely avoided friendly fire, and I'm okay with that. I'm gonna reinforce this area, adding more bunkers to it. Okay, here comes the copyright attack again. Alright. Alright, before I'm gonna let you hear a little bit of it, what's going on, but yeah, it's probably copyrighted music. Yeah, it is what you think it is. It's Mario music. I don't know why. I think it's because when you see Stetboy on the Hyperion, he has this little device, his little PDA, which I think is supposed to be some sort of Game Boy, which is probably why they had this sort of music on, but it's kind of funky. Adding more production because I'm flowing a lot of minerals right now. Okay. Oh. Attack wave. I cleaned that out. Next will be the Void Thrasher. Getting more upgrades. So the attack and armor upgrades are gotten from this evolution chamber. The engineering base for Stetboy's healing upgrades. And the evolution chamber is for the units themselves. Oh, this Overlord has done its job. It's destroyed that bonus. 2 down. Next wave will be coming from here. So I'm on my way to intercept that.
New hybrid signature detected.
Amon's pets.
You can see that mobility is a little bit of an issue for Stetboy. I have to walk all the way here, and it's really a nice thing that I've pretty much memorized the spawn patterns of this map. That's why I was able to get in position. If I had not memorized everything's position on the map, I probably would have been out of position for this attack wave, but the good news is it is all good. Stetboy out here healing the siege tank / lurker, and the Hydralisks splashing down all these Mutalisks. You love to see it, unless you're Amon, of course. But yeah, Amon's like, you know what? All my forces so far have been dropping straight into the meat grinder. What if I add a few more, but not all at the same time? Just trickle them a bit at a time. That'll probably work. Classic Amon. I have this random overlord over here. I believe I saw a little bit of the drop stuff over here. Okay, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I immediately circle back here. I send Stetboy. So Stetboy has this ability, the T ability, which is a medevac pickup, but it works more like Zeratul's Void Seeker. He can teleport anywhere on the map and just attack there. I don't know what these QER abilities do, to be honest, but the F is the copyright attack. Meanwhile, Lurker's out here going on the offensive. Set these guys down, become siege tanks, and shoot down the spine crawlers. Hydralisk's also running wild. Cleaning out all these dudes here. Next attack wave will come from here. I believe Stetboy's out here to once again do the copyright attack. And it's gonna drop right now. Yep. I gotta meet this every time, unfortunately. Anyway, at 20 minutes, a Void Thrasher will spawn here. I will also have to deal with that. Meanwhile, my units are running back to defend this spot. It's probably not enough. There are a lot of dudes here. There's so many dudes here. Okay, Statboy's still doing the the copyright attack. Another Terran drop here though. I like how Arcturus has Zerg drop, and Statboy has the Terran drop instead. Okay, got some more of these explodey bots here. But the Thrasher has been isolated. Its escort, its posse has been defeated, and now it will be taken care of in due course. Meanwhile, these siege tanks out here waiting for the enemy. I believe these two are, yeah, Hastur Nyarlathotep. I don't know what that is, but it is certainly one of the things. Cleaning out these guys. Hydralisks shooting the yellow and the red lasers. It's nice having my Hydralisk shooting lasers. I bet all those Protoss players would, or I bet those Zerg players would love to have their Hydralisk shooting lasers. I don't know why Statboy's so heavily into the classic video game sound things. I have no idea why. But anyway, I'm splitting off my forces. My Lurkers, aka siege tanks, are marching out here. Oh, I'm marching out here. Ah, this is what I'm saying. They are different colors. Yeah, they are different colors, different upgrades. So this Thrasher goes down quickly, and it's gone. Air is a bit of a problem though. Meanwhile, this area, it's not a problem. Air is no problem whatsoever for this area. It just gets deleted pretty fast. Stetboy is still out here standing around like an idiot. Meanwhile, my forces getting rallied to this bonus right here. So what I'm doing is whenever I get new forces out here, I upgrade them right away. I just give them the E upgrade so that, yeah, I pay for it with the essence right here. Yeah, I pay for it with essence, but in exchange they become stronger. If it doesn't fail. There's an RNG aspect to it where the upgrade could fail. Meanwhile, splashing down the enemies before they get through. Here you can see the siege tanks are great, but they don't have anti-air, which is the issue that they have. Hydralisks meanwhile running back. This one bunker right here fighting two hybrid. You guys remember how Raynor is really afraid of the first hybrid when it showed up initially. The one in the Kasnar facility. And now they just casually smash all the hybrids.
Your forces are under attack.
Last wave time though. Hydralisks doing so much work. Congratulations, you won a lovely Stetmann. Nice. Wonderful. I siege all my tanks. I meet in the middle. And prepare to wipe out enemy Amon's forces. So many lasers, my goodness. Look at all them lasers. It's like a disco party in here. My goodness. Wow. I guess seizure warning if you're not really good for that stuff. Alright. So that's a full clear Temple of the Past. No temple damage. And you can see that Stet Boy, he doesn't have Super Gary, so he's less centralized, but his units are really good. You know what? This might be one of the first times that I will say that the regular co-op version of the Commander, granted second prestige, is stronger than the Nexus Coop version. Because I'm sure this prestige is strong and all, but Super Gary, man. And the Hardened Shield Zerglings, that's hard to top. But that's not to say that this version is weak. This version is still good. It's just not, you know, over the top. Let's move on. Second game is on Malwarfare, where we have to protect Arana's transport while it purifies security terminals. So I have switched over my mastery here from the munitions, the munitions thing, to the other one. I kind of forgot. You're gonna have to rewind the video. I picked the other one for this one. So I will not be able to fast expand here because obviously there are enemies guarding that, but I will still be able to blast some buildings. And for that, I will get this Overlord, the Mecha Overlord, the Mecha Overlord, and destroy their buildings. So I'll still go for a command center first, not as fast, but still first. Enemies Terrazine, and that just blows up the building like it's nothing. You can see the SCVs deploy via drop pods, although I don't really see the sense of that, since they really, I don't see the point of you having drop pods for SCVs when they just deploy right at the command center anyway. I guess the drop pods work for the buildings. Not really sure why it needs to be done for the SCVs. Once again, dropping this refinery and the other refinery. If you didn't notice, the supply depot is gone. A certain Overlord saw to it. Meanwhile, I'll drop the hatchery here. I deployed Stet Boy in that direction. Another barrage from the Mecha Overlord to make sure that we are deleting the buildings quickly. Yeah, you kind of. It's a bit funky how the photon cat on Stet Boy behaves. You kind of have to be near the enemy because Stet Boy doesn't have an auto attack. It works kind of like a symbiote. You just have to be close enough that it will shoot. Okay. I like how Stet Boy just out here standing, just eating the marauder shots. But the hatchery is completed, which means spawning pool should be going up soon. There it is. Worker production has resumed. Stet Boy clearing out. Meanwhile, the Overlord will deploy. Will give vision to deploy Rainer's Raiders out here. You do need vision to deploy Rainer's Raiders, so that is a thing. Siege tank.
Let's go say hello.
Not quite in range, but the Overlord most certainly is. So this spot's pretty good for dropping Raiders because it defends the transport while also shooting down this camp over here, and also defends my base. Pretty good spot. But I was actually momentarily not paying attention. I was gonna go north. Then I realized, Reapers! Run! Run! My barracks! Look at this healing. Look at this healing beam from Stetboy. My goodness. That's some funky healing. That's some funky healing right there. My goodness. It most certainly is a symbiote. Look, it's both offense and defense for Stetboy. That is magnificent. But for the meantime, I'm just saturating my resources. Obviously, you saw that Stetboy in this Nexus Coop version is way more economy dependent, so I will actually need to work on my economy. Whereas in real co-op, I would just be out here destroying everything using Super Gary. Anyway, we'll just fire another barrage. Drop these Raiders over here. Just clean house. SEV died. Bit sad, but my dude's still out here fighting. I use the teleport for Stetboy to dodge the secret missile. That is the thing you can do. Not necessary, but it does things.
Is under attack. Upgrade complete.
So Terran out here destroying the north bonus. Terran out here holding off the Reapers. Stetboy returning to help out. Base has been saturated. Now I'm getting more upgrades. The attack upgrades, the healing upgrades for Stetboy, and the mandate upgrade. Or the energy upgrade. Ooh, not quite fast enough to react, but siege tank is there to clean up. Not really in a hurry to revive Stetboy because I honestly can't. I have to wait for this cooldown thing to elapse before I can call him down again onto the field directly. Meanwhile, I'm just flying this Overlord over here. Summon a bunch of Zerglings. So you can see I will spend energy to get these Zerglings. You can see these ones are glowing yellow. That's a Raptor now. It's going to do tremendous damage. Meanwhile, I'll drop another Rainer here. And Stetboy is once again ready to revive. I just dodge like it's nothing. Just dodge again. Alright. Running up here. Uh-oh, it's the yeah, it's the you know what it is. It's the copyright attack. I have to mute every time, otherwise I might get this video blocked. And I certainly don't want that. You can see these science vessels, these bots just delete that wave in a fabulous nuke. Meanwhile, this bot out here just walking around. Nukes off that area. More nukes on the way. Okay, if there's one thing that Nexus Coop Stetboy is better than at real co-op Stetboy, it's this thing. That is a really fun aspect that you do not see in 1v1 or in real co-op. Anyway, the science facility is down, so the copyright attack has stopped. Call down more Terran. Okay, attack wave is actually spawning over here. That's pretty good for me because I can attack the bonus while defending at the same time. Oh, I don't want to lose that. I only have one of these available per game. I cannot make any more, as far as I know. Wow. These are perfectly placed liberation zones. Good thing Stetboy's out here. Ooh. Those shots. My goodness. Alright, I believe we're ready to start. So this time I made the Ultra, so you can see a Bahamut came out. It looks like a Brutalisk. And it has these laser saws, these chainsaws for hands. And it still has the upgrade, so that's pretty amazing. Okay. Flying Stetboy back here. As far as hero units are concerned, he's not that strong, as you can see. But his army, just wait for these guys to make the front. That being said, you do have to wait for them to reach the front, but okay. So far, the Hydralisks are completely out. The T-800, wow, that's Terminator. My goodness. They're being completely outshone by these guys. Oh, that didn't die, it just revived. It became a Mecha Ultralisk. And tower goes down. Oh, Stetboy is available once again. I will revive him in this area. Yeah, I saw you revive Stetboy via direct call down. Oh, and once again, I was rushing out all my upgrades here. That's pretty awesome. Oh, it's the copyright attack again. I can't look unless I do this unmute. Unless I mute all the sounds, but you can see these science vessels just cleaning out all these forces here. They shoot and they also detonate nukes, so just fly in here and just explode right in their faces. Meanwhile, my Terran drop has cleared out this tower. Oh, more copyright attack. Ooh. This guy... Will it hit anything? Oh yes, it certainly does. It certainly will. Attack wave cleaned out. I got another Rainer drop. Let's see. Oh, I think I know where I'm gonna use it. On the 4th terminal. Which I think is a pretty good call. Pretty solid call overall. Okay, I'm gonna fly Stetboy back here. Via medevac. That Widow Mine sound is actually Stetboy. It's not a Widow Mine. I don't have Widow Mines. Meanwhile, I will run Stetboy back to the safety of the Terran drop right here. Ultralisk has this circle thing, which means it was being healed, and I think it has a shield of some sort. Which is great. You can see the different colors of these guys, but that Bahamut looks terrifying. My goodness, it's a Brutalisk, but it has swirly things on it, and it looks mechanical. That's so funky. Anyway, Zerglings are streaming in, taking out these guys. Well, taking out themselves apparently, but we are destroying this spot over here. This real estate has been claimed in the name of the Stet Swarm. We're marching up soon. How much shield does this have? 300 shield! The Komodo has 300 shield! For a Zergling model? That's crazy. That's insane. Anyway, the transport is en route. Remember, the main objective is to make sure this guy gets to this spot and cleans out the infestation, or purifies the terminal. Rid it of Amon's secret stuff. Am I tripping out, or did this terminal look like a... Anyway. More units on the way. So far so good. I believe I have another... Oh, yeah. I believe I have another copyright attack. Mute that. So you can see how this was clear the back base. While my army's cleaning out this tower over here, I drop out a Terran drop, or I launch Terran drop to help clean out the buildings here. Meanwhile, the science vessels, or the Terrazine harvesters, are still going to town in Amon's base and absolutely smashing whatever he has in there. It's actually hilarious. Stetboy just flew in this zone all alone. I think he's flying back, but he flew into this zone all alone. And he just dropped a top bar and just... Well, to be fair, he dropped 2 top bars, but as a result, he just cleaned out... Completely cleaned out... Well, not completely. He just mostly cleaned out this base over here.
I recommend taking out that suppression tower quickly.
Zerg marching up. And cleaning out the tower. Nice.
Upgrade complete. Your forces are
Attack wave heading over here. And getting cleaned out.
My work here is nearly finished.
Yeah. My goodness, look at these
Detecting
effects over here.
tower.
Look at these particle effects. There's a swirly thing on the Ultralisk. There's a fire on another Ultralisk. These Nexus Coop guys did not hold back. They just added all the features. I bet they were in a meeting. The Nexus Coop guys were in a meeting. They were arguing what stuff to put in their game. And then the lead developer is like, everything. We put everything in the game. Because more stuff equals more fun. Which is true. In general, more stuff means more fun. But you have to... Yeah, you have to come to... I don't know, maybe it's just me. Is it just me, guys? I feel like when stuff like this happens on screen, it's kind of hard for me to keep focus on what's going on. Although that may just be me with my situation, but when stuff like this are going on the screen, I kind of find it hard to focus on what's going on because it's so loud. The screen is so loud. So many effects, so many of these swirly things and stuff moving around. Maybe that's why I'm not a good RTS player, but
Moving forward.
I don't know. Lost in all that, I was completely forgetting how to macro. Just a single Ultros on the way.
But it's still possible to retrieve the personalities within
AI is ready for download, and my stuff are ready to intercept. Because as you know, there is a period where the units are just dropping onto the field and they're completely vulnerable.
this purifier is free.
And that's my window to get free damage in. Meanwhile, I have a bunker drop down here. Probably the worst possible spawn location for a drop, but what can you do? We are limited to what our vision can give us. Oh, I'm not to blame for not having enough vision though. Clearly it's Amon's fault for not giving me enough vision.
Restoring original
Meanwhile, only one upgrade left, and I'm, for some reason, just not getting it. I'm just not getting it. I don't know why. There's no good reason for it.
the Tal'Darim still
Meanwhile,
destroyed.
Liberator's still out. Oh, wow. The 2 kills. That wasn't a lot of kills. I figured there would be something like 10 kills on that Liberator, but it was not meant to be. Meanwhile,
Enemy suppression tower.
the Terra drop still doing wonders for defending this transport over here. That's the first spot, which means, or that's the first tower, which means second tower will spawn here, which is great because I already have it camped. And its third set will be here and here. Now we gotta defend the transport. Remember, I cannot lose it. If we lose it, we die. And that's a lot of damage from those Liberators, so I kind of have to eat shots here. I have no choice. If I avoid the Liberator circles, they will just delete Orana's transport. And that is kind of not what I want to have in the main objective. But
Tal'Darim is brutal.
the good news is copyists are really strong.
Discovered this data.
Nexus Coop units even more so.
A little time remains. I have regained control of the
And tower is going down. Attack wave is actually, yeah, 2 cyclones. 2 cyclones constant attack wave now. So I decree. Zergling versus Cyclone. Zergling almost won. A little sad, but the Zergling will be remembered for all his contributions to this fair city. Alright, I already have a Terran drop here. Oh, I got the yeah, the copyright attack again. I can't look there. My goodness. And I believe that's last wave. Oh wait, one more wave. But look, my army's literally on fire. My goodness, what is this? What insanity is this? You can see the Brutalisk or the Bahamut just smashing everything in its way. It gets an additional shield, and it will just walk through everything like it's nothing. But that is the last of this transport over here. That will end my demonstration of Stetboy. And you can see his units are really strong. Fun to use. I would say that the top bar in particular, the copyright top bar, is great. But yeah, the copyright part makes it... I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to avoid it, I think. But regardless, I actually like the Hydralisks also for Stetboy. And the Lurker that turns to a siege tank. That's kind of funny. Anyway, if you want to play this game, this Nexus Coop, all you have to do is go to the arcade or custom arcade and type in Nexus Coop. You can play that for yourself. It's free to play on all servers. And I'll hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for it also, please leave it in a comment. I will see you guys next time.